Here's something most guys never figure out about women until it's already too late. Women don't bond with you during the perfect date. They don't bond because you held the door or paid the bill. They don't even bond during intimacy the way most men assume. And they definitely don't bond because you sent 3 "hope you got home safe" texts in a row. That's not bonding. That's anxiety dressed up as effort. The real bonding happens after one very specific, quiet, emotional moment. And here's the part that catches every guy off guard. It's never the moment she planned. It's not dramatic, no music, no rainfall. It's subtle, almost invisible. And if you blink, you'll miss it, and she might never open up to you again. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This applies powerfully to bonding. The way you react to her vulnerable moments is what determines whether she feels safe enough to bond with you. Your reaction, not the moment itself, is what creates the connection. Most men confuse attraction with bonding. Big mistake. If she laughs at your jokes, that's attraction. If she sleeps with you, still attraction. If she texts first, could be either. But bonding is different. Attraction runs on dopamine, excitement, novelty, chase. Bonding runs on oxytocin, trust, safety, emotional imprinting. You can be incredibly attractive to her and still be completely replaceable emotionally. Let that sink in. You can have all the chemistry in the world, but without bonding, you're just another man she enjoyed spending time with. She'll remember the feeling, but she won't feel tied to you. She won't feel like you're the one she can't imagine losing. Bonding is what turns attraction into attachment. It's what makes her choose you over all the other options. And bonding doesn't happen during the highlights. It happens in the quiet moments when she reveals something real and you show her that you can handle it. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you cultivate thoughts of stability and presence, your soul reflects that, and she will feel it. She will know that you are someone she can trust with her vulnerability. And that trust is the foundation of bonding. Here's the psychological blind spot. From the moment you meet, she's quietly calibrating. Is he safe? Will he judge me? Can he handle my real self? Women don't drop their guard easily. They reveal in layers. Layer 1, fun personality. Layer 2, stories. Layer 3, opinions. Layer 4, that's where it gets interesting. Layer 4 is vulnerability, and that layer almost never comes out on purpose. It slips. You've probably seen it but didn't recognize it. You're talking. Good vibe. She's confident, playful, then suddenly her voice softens. She admits something small and embarrassing. "I overthink everything sometimes," or "I don't really trust people easily," or even "I know I can be a lot to handle." She didn't plan to say that. That slipped out. And in that split second, she feels exposed. Not terrified, just seen. And now she's watching you closely. Vulnerability without safety creates anxiety. Vulnerability with stability creates bonding. This is the moment that changes everything, because when a woman reveals a vulnerable truth and you don't judge it, fix it, analyze it, or joke it away, something powerful happens in her brain. You stay calm, grounded, present. You look at her like nothing just broke, like she's still composed, attractive, respected. That response, it triggers oxytocin. Her nervous system starts tagging you as emotionally safe. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When she reveals vulnerability, the event itself is not what matters. What matters is your reaction. And if your reaction is steady, she will feel safe. If your reaction is unstable, she will feel exposed. And that feeling of exposure, when it is not met with safety, will close her off to you forever. Let's break down the psychology. When someone reveals vulnerability, their brain enters a mild stress state. Slightly elevated heart rate, focus narrows, social risk activated. If your reaction is unstable, panic, overcorrect, or fixing, her stress rises. If your reaction is solid, calm, steady, her stress drops. And when stress drops after emotional exposure, oxytocin spikes. That's bonding chemistry. She won't even consciously realize it happened. She'll just think, "I feel comfortable with him." Comfortable is not boring. Comfortable means her nervous system trusts you. This is why the quiet moments matter so much. They are not just moments of connection, they are moments of neurochemical bonding. Her brain is literally rewiring itself to associate you with safety. And once that association is formed, it is incredibly difficult to break. She will feel drawn to you even when she doesn't understand why. She will feel like something about you is different, special, irreplaceable. That is the power of bonding. And it all starts with how you handle her vulnerability. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." When she is vulnerable, she is not in the future. She is in the present, feeling exposed. And if you can be present with her, without anxious dependence on where the conversation is going, you create the safety she needs to bond with you. Here's where 90% of guys destroy it without realizing. Mistake 1, trying to fix her. She says, "I've been hurt before." You go full emotional mechanic. "I'll never hurt you. You can trust me." Slow down. She didn't ask to be fixed. When you rush to repair, you're saying something's wrong with her. Bonding dies. Mistake 2, over-validating. She says, "Sometimes I feel like I'm too much." You say, "No, you're perfect. You're amazing." That feels needy. That feels like you're begging for approval. Strong response, calm. Everyone has layers. That's normal. Short, stable, unbothered. Mistake 3, becoming a therapist. She shares something vulnerable. You lean in like a trauma detective. "How did that make you feel? When did that start?" Relax. This isn't a counseling session. She wants safety, not analysis. Pressure shuts people down. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "No great thing is created suddenly." This applies to bonding as well. It is not built through one grand gesture. It is built through the accumulation of small moments where you show her that you are safe, steady, and present. And each time you handle her vulnerability with calm, you add another layer to that bond. Over time, that bond becomes unbreakable. So, what actually works? When she reveals something vulnerable, you stay emotionally steady. Not cold, not distant, just grounded. You listen, you nod slightly, relaxed eye contact. Your energy says, "I can handle this." You don't escalate physically. You don't change your tone dramatically. You treat her vulnerability like it's normal, because to a strong man, it is. She doesn't bond hardest after pleasure. She bonds hardest after exposure. This is the key insight. Women do not bond because you made them feel good. They bond because you made them feel safe. And safety is not created through pleasure. It is created through stability. It is created through presence. It is created through the quiet confidence that says, "I can handle whatever you throw at me." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you can stay calm in the face of her vulnerability, you are exercising that power. You are not letting her emotional exposure dictate your state. You are grounded in yourself, and that grounding is what makes her feel safe enough to bond with you. Here's a real scenario. You're on a date. Vibe is strong, she laughs. Then she says quietly, "I sometimes feel like I'm hard to deal with. Pay attention." That's not a random sentence. That's a soft vulnerability test. Weak response, "No, you're not. You're amazing." Desperate. Another weak response, "Why would you say that?" Now she feels pressured. Strong response, slight smile, calm tone. Everyone's a little complicated. That's what makes people interesting. Then you smoothly change the subject. No drama, no deep dive. What just happened? She feels accepted, not judged, not pitied, not analyzed. That relief is powerful. Relief after exposure creates emotional imprinting. She'll leave thinking, "I feel different around him," and she won't know why. The deeper truth, women don't bond hardest after pleasure. They bond hardest after exposure. When she reveals something vulnerable and you don't collapse, chase, fix, or flinch, you pass a subconscious test. Because here's what she's really asking. Can you handle my emotional depth? If you can't handle a small vulnerability calmly, how will you handle real relationship pressure? Women bond to emotional strength, not dominance, not aggression. Emotional steadiness, that's masculine gravity. When vulnerability meets stability, the brain forms an anchor. Her nervous system starts associating you with safety. Safety leads to comfort. Comfort leads to openness. Openness leads to deeper bonding, and bonding leads to emotional investment. It compounds, but only if you stay consistent. If you're steady one day and insecure the next, the attachment weakens. Emotional consistency turns moments into connection. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And consistency is the essence of your reaction. It is not a one-time thing, it is a pattern. And when she sees that pattern, she knows she can trust you. She knows that you are not going to change based on her mood or her vulnerability. You are steady. And that steadiness is what makes her feel safe enough to bond with you. Here's the part most guys won't like. You can't fake this. You can't memorize lines. You can't run a script. If you're internally unstable, she'll feel it. If you're seeking validation, she'll sense it. If you're afraid to lose her, your energy will leak. Bonding doesn't come from, it comes from presence. The man who creates deep bonding isn't trying to impress, convince, or rescue. He's simply stable, grounded, centered in himself. When she opens up, he doesn't see weakness. He sees humanity, and he doesn't flinch. So, remember this. Women don't bond hardest during the highlight moments. They bond after the quiet emotional exposures, after the sentence she didn't mean to say, after the insecurity she accidentally revealed, after the truth that slipped out. And if you handle that moment correctly, she won't just be attracted to you. She'll feel connected to you. And connection is what keeps her. Level up your emotional stability, not for her, for yourself. Because bonding doesn't happen when you chase her emotions. It happens when you're strong enough to hold them. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." When you are truly present with her, when you are not anxious about where the conversation is going or what it means, you create the space for her to feel safe. And in that space, bonding happens naturally. It is not forced. It is not manufactured. It is simply the natural consequence of two people being authentically present with each other. And that is the most powerful thing you can offer her. Not your words, not your gestures, your presence, your steadiness, your ability to hold her vulnerability without flinching. Now, let's talk about what happens when you miss this moment, because missing it is more common than getting it right. Most men, when faced with a woman's vulnerability, do one of three things. They either try to fix it, which says, "Your feelings are a problem to be solved." They try to minimize it, which says, "Your feelings don't matter." Or they try to one-up it, which says, "My feelings are more important than yours." All three of these responses kill bonding. All three of them tell her that you cannot handle her emotional depth. And once she receives that message, she will stop sharing. She will put her walls back up. She will become friendly but distant. She will engage with you on a surface level, but she will never let you in. And that is the death of any real connection. You can have all the chemistry in the world, but without bonding, she will never feel truly connected to you. She will enjoy your company, but she will not feel tied to you. And eventually, she will move on to someone who makes her feel safe. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "No great thing is created suddenly. Bonding is not created through one perfect moment. It is created through the accumulation of small moments where you show her that you are safe. And each time you handle her vulnerability with calm, you add another layer to that bond." Here's another scenario. You're sitting together. The conversation has been light and fun. Then she says something that reveals an insecurity. "I always worry that people don't really like me, that they're just being polite." This is a vulnerable moment. If you react by saying, "That's ridiculous, everyone likes you," you are minimizing her feelings. If you say, "I know exactly how you feel, I feel that way all the time," you are one-upping her. If you say, "Well, you shouldn't worry about that, just be yourself," you are fixing her. None of these responses create bonding. The strong response is simple. You look at her, you pause, and you say, "That's a hard feeling to carry." That's it. No fixing, no minimizing, no one-upping. Just acknowledgement. Just presence. Just the quiet recognition that her feelings are real and that you can hold them without being overwhelmed by them. That response is what creates bonding. Because it says, "I see you, I hear you, and I'm not going anywhere." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When your thoughts are colored by empathy and presence, your soul reflects that, and she will feel it. She will know that you are someone she can trust with her deepest self. So, here's where we land. You are not broken. You have never been broken. You are operating without information. Every man who struggles with women isn't lacking something. He's missing a map, and now you have one. The signals, the triggers, the invisible language she's speaking when she wants you to step forward. Masculine presence, intentional listening, emotional challenge, selective attention, calibrated vulnerability, gradual physical touch, controlled unpredictability. These are not tricks. These are not manipulations. They are the real mechanics of how human attraction works at a deep psychological level. Use them honestly. Use them with respect. Use them as a man who genuinely cares about the woman in front of him. Not as someone trying to manufacture a result, but as someone who is showing up as his fullest self. That's the difference. That's always been the difference. You don't need perfection. You need strategy. You don't need to become someone else. You need to become more of who you already are, but with clarity, with intention, and with the quiet confidence of a man who finally understands the game he's playing. The man who understands this doesn't chase, he becomes. And the right woman will feel that from across the room. If you're ready to stop chasing and start becoming the man women genuinely desire, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications because the next one will shift your reality. Epictetus taught, no great thing is created suddenly. This applies to becoming the man you want to be as well. It does not happen overnight. It happens through the accumulation of small choices, each one building on the last. And as you make those choices, you become more grounded, more present, more capable of holding her vulnerability. And that is what makes you truly unforgettable. Not your words, not your gestures, your presence, your steadiness, your ability to be the calm in her storm. That is what bonds her to you, and that is what keeps her. So, start today. Pay attention to the quiet moments. Listen for the words she doesn't mean to say. And when she reveals something vulnerable, stay steady. Hold her without flinching. And watch as she bonds to you in a way that no amount of chemistry ever could. That is the power of presence. That is the power of emotional strength. And that is the power of the man who knows how to bond.